we heard that Celebrity were doing a $250 million kind of revolutionizing the Solstice-class ships, of which there's 5, I think, from Solstice and Eclipse and Reflection and the other one, Silhouette. and these, they're great ships. They're big ships, like 130,000-ton ships.
Mm.
And I've been on the Eclipse, which was not renovated, and it's not one of the newer ones like Silhouette and Reflection. It's one of the originals, and so it hasn't had, because those ships got updated as they grew, really, and so like the lawn terrace on the top, that kind of real grass, it was too much of an open space. It was very revolutionary back in 2005 or whatever, but now we're basically looking at dead space that doesn't get used, and so what they've done with this renovation, and they've started with Solstice, and they're going to do all the ships, is they've turned that, weirdly, they've got rid of the real grass and they've replaced it with AstroTurf, with a fake grass, which is kind of ironic considering the whole selling point 20 years ago for the Solstice-class was it was
real grass,
right? So, but
but then, Anthony, real grass, you have to pay for someone to mow the lawn, and they don't want to pay anything.
That's right. You need to keep like a horticulturalist on board to keep it alive. So no, that's a very good point.
Right?
Yeah, much lower maintenance. And so a few of the vloggers have done, I think Adrian did a vlog on board Solstice, was one of the first to kind of get on there and show it off. And it's very interesting to me that it kind of looks the same. I was expecting them to gut it like they did with the 2 Millennium class ships, the Millennium and the Summit, and gut them and do and your favorite, of course, the Norwegian Spirit, which got completely emptied out and rebuilt from scratch, more so than the Millennium class ships. And they haven't really. They've kind of cleaned it up a little bit, but they've added some venues which are revenue generating. And I think that's very interesting. It's like the and also the $250 million I thought was per ship, and it turns out it's across 5 ships. So it's $50 million. And I'm not being down on Celebrity here because they are my favorite line outside of Cunard. But it seems that those revenue generating areas, there's one restaurant that they've done which is beautiful, fantastic, and looks great, and they've changed like the old steakhouse into the Fine Cut Steakhouse, so it is more consistent with the edge class. But what they haven't done is upgrade the cabins, and so they've got new carpet and maybe new curtains and new linens, and maybe a new TV, I think, because it was an old silver Samsung, and now it's a newer kind of interactive black Samsung. But like the sofa was my biggest bugbear on Silhouette. They have these, to me they look like dentist waiting room sofas. Like they've got hard corners and 2 of these odd shaped cushion or kind of cushion backs, and they've just recovered it. But like the first thing I would have done is like replace the sofa. So they haven't really done that. So the rooms are basically the same. The furniture is basically the same. It's nice, but it's not edge class. And they were able to do it with the Summit and the Millennium.
If we look at the timing as well, when they were doing Summit and Millennium, the future looks a little bit more predictable, I suppose.
Right,
potentially. I mean, you got to think about that as well. Like, I mean, one of the things that's fascinating, and it hasn't really started to trickle through yet, but there's no reason why it won't, is the impact that the fuel crisis is going to have on bunker fuel, bunker diesel.
Because I was excited, because I was like, now this puts the Solstice class back into business, because I didn't enjoy the Eclipse. I found the ship to be too dark. It actually reminded me in places of the Quantum class ships, especially in like the shopping mall area. Again, no windows, and it just felt very much like a shopping mall, which is not what I want when I go to sea. But a couple of the rooms they've done are fantastic and kind of make up for the rest of it. And so as I was watching Adrian, the travel guy, and I was like, oh, I don't know, it did kind of get better and better. And by the end of it, I was like, okay, yeah, they've done a nice job. But it was just interesting that it's revenue generating areas where they're putting that investment because of the return on investment.
Don't forget, if you're on Instagram, Anthony looks after our Expert Cruise Show Instagram page, which has got a growing following, and you sometimes put links to the different shows, but also questions and quizzes and stuff up
deals.
there.
I've put some deals on recently. Yeah,
Wow,
I put an Alaska cruise on the Celebrity Summit that was $550 per person for 7 nights.
Goodness me, yes.
And I posted a link to it. We're not sponsored.
And the Substack is at the Maritime Historian, and that's basically several times a week a maritime history deep dive with a little bit more information than what's possible to talk through on the show or even on the YouTube videos, a bit more niche because, you know, the algorithms force us in a certain direction, but Substack is like a growing family of people who just love to get into the nitty-gritty about the ships.
Fantastic. Okay, well, listen, thanks for joining the Expert Cruise Show this week. Check out the previous 30-something episodes. Share the show, like it, subscribe, more importantly, and comment down below, and we'll see you next time.
This video was brought to you by me and my new book, The Evolution of the Passenger Ship. In The Evolution of the Passenger Ship, we bring years of research together to create a book that takes you on a journey from the dawn of passenger shipping right the way through to the modern cruise behemoths that we see today. And if you purchase a copy, you support us, which helps us keep the channel going.